Hello, students. Welcome to our lesson for today. This week, we're going to take a look at something called demonstrative adjectives. Last week, we took a look at adjectives, and we said that adjectives really describe or modify nouns. And there were three questions that we had last week. We had what kind, how many, and which one. And this week, we are going to answer the question, which one? And there are four main demonstrative adjectives that we're going to take a look at. First one is the word this. The next one is the word that. Then we're going to have these, and we have the word those. These are going to be the four demonstrative adjectives that we're going to be focusing on just this week. Now, when we talk about what exactly is a demonstrative adjective, it boils down to the fact that it really points out which one are we talking about. So it could be talking about a specific person, or it could be talking about specific people. It could be talking about a specific place or places, specific thing or things, and then a specific idea or ideas. And when we say like an idea, it'd be like for the example, like an example of the word love or dream. Not exactly a physical thing, but it's kind of an idea of something. So let's take a look at the first two demonstrative adjectives, which deals with the words this and these. These two demonstrative adjectives refer to things that are actually nearby you. So if it's close to you, right near you, you would use these two words. If you're talking about one item in particular, then you would say this. If you're talking about multiple items, plural items, then you'd use the word these. So for some examples we have here is this marker is blue. When you say a sentence like this, it's assuming that the word marker is near you, so we're saying this marker. Or this large bowl. I put this example in here because not every single demonstrative adjective is going to come immediately before the word that it modifies. Like in sentence number one, you have the word marker. This is referring to the word marker. But in sentence number two, the word this is not referring to large. It's talking about this bowl. So demonstrative adjectives usually come right before the word they modify, but it's not necessarily going to be immediately right after the word it modifies. Sentence number three, we have a plural situation. We have these shoes feel uncomfortable. The word these, you're referring to shoes that are close to you. These shoes, so it's modifying shoes. Two customers wanted these boxes. So again, we have the words these is referring to boxes. I don't want you to assume that these demonstrative adjectives are always found at the beginning of the sentence, although the first three like that. They can really be found anywhere in the sentence as long as they are modifying a noun. So all of these are modifying nouns. Then we have the other two, which is that and those. Again, it's talking about specific items that are farther away from you, whether it be farther away in space, like it's about a couple of feet away from you, or in time, like it could be maybe days or weeks or months later. You use the word that anytime you're dealing with something that's singular, one item, the word those referring to plural, which would be two or more items. Here are some examples, which are pretty much the exact same examples as the previous page, except these are now associating the fact that these items are not close to us, they're farther away from us. So rather than saying this marker is blue, we would say that marker, again, referring to the fact that the marker is not near me. Or that large bowl. Again, the word that is referring to bowl, not referring to the word large. Next, you have those shoes feel uncomfortable. The word those, again, mentioning that it is farther away from us. And then we have two customers wanted those boxes. So the word that is referring to something that is singular, and the word those is referring to something that is plural. So something we want to make sure that we remind ourselves of is that this and that, those are both your singular nouns. They refer to just one item. So for example, this is a delicious apple, or that is a delicious apple. Now these examples here are a little bit different than the ones we had on the previous page, only because in these examples we have a linking verb here. And anytime you have this linking verb, you may have to have your word modifying a noun that comes a little bit later in the sentence, because you're talking about this is still referring to the word apple, or the word that is still referring to the apple. It's just that with this linking verb in between, it's telling you that this is linking back here, or another way to look at it is the apple is referring back to the word this. So these two are linked together. Okay. You usually only see that if you have linking verbs. Usually, if you don't have linking verbs, you usually would see them right next to the words that they're going to modify. And then we got to remind ourselves that the words these and those, they're plural. So that's going to refer to multiple objects. So these referring to near you, those referring to something that's away from you. Again, same examples here. These are delicious apples. The word these is referring to apples and it's near you. Those are delicious apples. Again, those is modifying the word apples. So in these sentences, we're going to ask to find where the demonstrative pronouns are located in the sentence and then tell what words do they modify. So we have, this is a funny story. Those are the stamps my cousin needs. Will this storm ever end? Thanks, that pie tastes delicious. Or Nicole, these papers need to go home. Take a moment and see if you can identify, first of all, where the demonstrative pronouns are, as well as where, what word is it describing? So you'll see here on this paper here, let me get this out of the way. You'll see on this paper here where all our answers are. So this is referring to story, those referring to stamps. This is referring to storm, that referring to pie, these referring to papers. There's one more thing we want to talk about with demonstrative. It's the ones that are not demonstrative adjectives. For example, the word them is not a pronoun. So it is not a demonstrative adjective. So it is not going to describe anything at all. So a bad example of this would be something like this. Them apples are fresh. The word them is a pronoun. It is not going to be describing apples. So in this particular situation, we'd want to use the word these apples or those apples, depending on how far away they are. Or here's another one. Them is a delicious apple. Again, this is a singular. This should be this is a delicious apple or that is a delicious apple. Another thing that is not right to do is putting either the words here or there right after the demonstrative pronoun. That is unneeded. It's just useless information. It's too much. It makes it confusing. For example, you have a sentence, this here runner is fast. Again, you do not need this word here. You just say this runner is fast. Or you could say that their cake looks good. Again, you don't need the word there. It just grammatically, it doesn't make it sound very well at all. You should just take that out. It should be that cake looks good. Well, that's all we got for here. So I'm sure that you're going to rock this lesson pretty well. And so thanks for watching my video. Hope if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me whenever you can. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.